Rats. Literally rats. Hundreds of them running riot in a house meant for our players. You think you know the dark days of Wrexham. You think you know how bad it got before the Hollywood takeover saved our souls. Think again. We aren't just talking about losing matches or missing out on promotion. We are talking about a level of degradation that would make you sick to your stomach. We have heard some horror stories over the years at the Racecourse. We have seen managers come and go. We have seen the begging bucket. We have seen the club on the brink of extinction. But a testimony has just dropped that changes everything. It paints a picture so grim, so absolutely shambolic, that it is a miracle we even have a club left to support today. A former coach has broken his silence. He has lifted the lid on a reality so bleak that he almost walked out the door after just 2 days. We are talking about budgets slashed overnight, star players sold for peanuts without permission, and living conditions that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. If you ever doubted the impact Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have had, if you ever take this current success for granted, you need to hear this. It is a wake-up call. It is a reminder of the absolute mess we crawled out of. And while we look back at that nightmare, the club is finally moving forward with plans that prove those dark days are dead and buried. We are fixing the foundations, literally. We are talking professional pitches, proper drainage, and a squad that is fighting at the top of the championship. The contrast is insane. It is heartbreaking and inspiring all at the same time. You need to brace yourselves for this one, because the details are going to make your jaw drop.
Let's start with the future, because after what I am going to tell you later, you are going to need some good news to wash it down. We are finally seeing the concrete steps, literally and figuratively, to ensure Wrexham never ever goes back to the amateur hour operations of the past. We have got fresh updates on the academy, and this is massive. Plans have officially been submitted to Wrexham Council for the next stage of the Wrexham AFC Academy at Darland High School in Rossett. Now, I know talking about drainage and engineering might not sound as sexy as signing a new striker, but listen to me. This is the stuff that builds a legacy. This is what separates the big boys from the pub teams. We are talking about professional grade drainage, finally. If you know the history of that site, you know the flooding issues have been an absolute nightmare. Historic flooding that turned pitches into swimming pools. You can't develop the next generation of Red Dragons if they are needing snorkels to train, can you? The club has submitted engineering plans to install a new system that funnels water into storage ponds, swales they call them, in the northwest corner of the site. They are putting in pumps to clear the water while the work is done. It's a serious operation. And it's not just about keeping the grass dry, it's about expansion. The plan includes refurbishing the full-size main pitch that we share with the school. But here's the kicker. We are creating 5 additional pitches. We are talking surfaces for 5v5, 7v7, 9v9 and full 11v11 matches. Why does this matter? Because of the Category 3 status. The English Football League has a strict tier system for academies. Category 1 is the Premier League elite, your Man Cities, your Chelseas. We are aiming for Category 3 right now. That requires specific facilities, it requires dedicated areas for goalkeeper training, it requires specific positional training zones, and these plans deliver exactly that. The proposal includes shipping containers for storage, proper fencing, hedgerows and permeable walkways. It sounds industrial, but it is the infrastructure of a professional outfit. Joanne Lee, the head teacher at Darland High School, is buzzing about it. She said in her newsletter that this powerful partnership is going to provide unique opportunities for the students, and that's the beauty of this club under Rob and Ryan. We aren't just building a fortress for ourselves, we are lifting the community with us. The school gets better facilities, the kids get better opportunities, and Wrexham AFC gets a production line of talent. There's also going to be an irrigation system installed, so we're fixing the floods in the winter and keeping the pitches pristine in the drier months. It's attention to detail. Think about it. A few years ago, we were worried about paying the electric bill. Now we are submitting complex engineering planning applications to create a state-of-the-art youth development centre. It's a different world. This is how you sustain success. You don't just buy players, you build the ground they walk on. You make sure that when a kid signs for Wrexham, they're walking into a professional environment from day one. No more mud baths, no more cancelled training sessions because of a bit of rain. It's relentless progress. And it shows that the owners are looking at 2030, 2040, not just the next match. But speaking of the next match and the current squad, things are heating up on the pitch too.
Now, let's talk about the here and now, the championship, the battle we are in right now. We have just come off back-to-back league wins for the first time this season. Beating Sheffield United 5-3 on Boxing Day was mental, a proper classic at the Racecourse. But then backing it up with a 2-1 win against Preston North End, that shows character, that shows grit. And one man is at the centre of the conversation right now, Ollie Rathbone. The Gaffer, Phil Parkinson, has come out and admitted it. Rathbone has been incredibly unlucky. And you know what? He is right. The lad has been fighting to get back into the starting 11 since that nasty ankle injury in pre-season, and he's been restricted to substitute appearances. But look at the impact. Against Preston, Rathbone comes off the bench. The game is tight. We need a spark. What does he do? He slots home the second goal to make it 2-0. A neat finish, cool as you like. And let's give credit where it is due. The assist from George Dobson, absolute filth. A superb through ball that split them open. Parkinson said it himself. I am so pleased for Ollie. He's been unlucky in the last 3 games not to start, after his goal here a few weeks ago. This is the kind of problem every manager dreams of. Having a player of Rathbone's quality on the bench, hungry, angry in a good way, and ready to prove a point the second he crosses the white line. He scored that late equaliser against Watford earlier in the month, and now he kills off Preston. When Ollie's in there, you always fancy him to score, Parky said. And that is the truth. He has that engine, that drive. He's a terrier in midfield, but he has the composure in the box. It was a massive result to end 2025. Beating Preston wasn't just about the 3 points, it was about momentum. We have proven we can score goals for fun against Sheffield United, and we have proven we can grind out a result against a tough Preston side. Nathan Broadhead opened the scoring, another player stepping up, but Rathbone's contribution is what has everyone talking. It raises a massive question for the next game. Does he start? Parkinson stressed the importance of building on these performances. The team goal for Rathbone's strike was described as a real good bit of build-up play. That's what we want to see. Not just hoofing it, but playing through the lines. Dobson finding space, Rathbone making the run. It's tactical maturity. We are sitting in a position where our squad depth is genuinely frightening for opponents. You think you have tired out our midfield? Fine. Here comes Ollie Rathbone, full of energy, ready to run you into the ground for the last 30 minutes. It's a luxury we have never had before, and it's a testament to the recruitment team. But again, I have to take you back, because enjoying this depth, enjoying these wins, enjoying the fact that our biggest worry is which talented midfielder do we start, feels almost guilty when you hear what things used to be like. We need to talk about the reality check, the ghost of Wrexham past.
Right, brace yourselves. Seriously, sit down if you aren't already. We all know the narrative. Hollywood owners save struggling club. It's a nice headline, but until you hear the details, you don't realise just how struggling we were. We weren't struggling, we were rotting. Darren Caskey, remember him? Assistant manager to Gary Mills back in 2015. He has just gone on the Under the Cosh podcast and dropped a nuclear bomb of truth about his time at the Racecourse. He revealed that he and Gary Mills nearly quit the club after 2 days. 2 days! Imagine getting a new job, turning up, and within 48 hours thinking, this is impossible, I'm out. That is how bad it was. Here is the timeline. April 2015. Gary Mills takes over. Kasky comes in as his number 2. They're excited. They've done their homework. They have the budget numbers written down. They are ready to build a squad to get us out of the National League. Then the phone rings. Kasky says, "He rang me back up. He went, 'Casks, you're not going to believe this. Can you come down to Wrexham again tomorrow? They've taken £100,000 off our budget. 100 grand. Gone. Just like that. In the National League, that's a fortune. That's 3 or 4 quality players. That's the difference between playoffs and mid-table. Slashed overnight. But it gets worse. In the same phone call, Mills tells him, "And have you seen that they've just sold our centre-forward for £50,000? That centre-forward was Louis Moule, our star man, the guy who put the ball in the net, sold to Motherwell for 50 grand. Peanuts, absolute peanuts for a player of his quality. And the manager didn't even know it was happening until it was done." Kasky said Mills was absolutely furious. He was ready to walk. "I'm not having it. I'll just go and tell them I'm fucking resigning," Mills told him. He went into the boardroom and basically said, "Sack me then." They stayed because they wanted to prove a point. They wanted to fight. But fighting with one hand tied behind your back is one thing. Fighting when your own club is selling your weapons is another. And then, the wages. Oh my God, the wages. Kasky revealed they were trying to sign players on £210. £210? Are you joking? How do you expect a professional footballer to live on that? How do you expect to get promoted out of the hardest league in the world when you're offering wages that wouldn't even cover the petrol money for a Sunday League player? How are you supposed to get promoted out of the league? Kasky asked. And he's right. It was mission impossible. It's a miracle we finished 8th that season. It's a miracle we weren't relegated. But here's the part that actually makes me feel sick. This is the part that brings tears to your eyes out of sheer shame for what this club was allowed to become. The accommodation. We signed 4 lads from lower divisions, young players trying to make a career. The club, which was fan-owned at the time, remember, so the resources were non-existent, put them up in a house. Kasky describes it as the shittiest house you've ever seen in your life. He went round to inspect it with Gary Mills, and what did they find? Rats. There must have been about 400 rats in there, Kasky said. It was an absolute disgrace. You couldn't put players in there. Let that sink in. 400 rats, an infestation, a health hazard. And this was the accommodation provided by Wrexham AFC for its players. It was so bad that the assistant manager of the football club, Kasky himself, had to spend a whole day clearing out the house. He had to become a cleaner and an exterminator just so the players had somewhere human to sleep. "We ended up clearing it ourselves for a whole day," Kasky said. This is the reality. This is the grim truth. It wasn't just a lack of money, it was a lack of dignity. It was a lack of basic standards. We were treating players like animals. When you hear people complain about the Hollywood circus or say that Wrexham is lucky, show them this. Tell them about the rats. Tell them about the £210 wages. Tell them about the manager finding out his budget was slashed by £100,000 the day he arrived. This is what Ryan and Rob saved us from. They didn't just buy a football club, they rescued an institution from total collapse. Gary Mills and Darren Kasky tried their best, they really did, but they were fighting a losing battle against a system that was broken. Today, we have players like Ollie Rathbone scoring winners at the packed Racecourse. We have planning applications for professional drainage and academy pitches. We have global sponsors. But we must never ever forget the rats. We must never forget the £210 wages, because remembering where we came from makes days like today taste so much sweeter. It's shameful that it ever got that bad, but it's glorious to see where we are now. What do you think about Kasky's revelation? Does it shock you, or did you suspect it was this bad behind the scenes? And looking at the academy plans, how important is it that we are finally fixing the infrastructure? Let me know, because this testimony has shaken me to my core. Up the town, always.